All right, today in this video, I wanted to share in a little bit of my progress of the Dansko 8113. I had to think about it for a second. That's actually the model number of this particular album. This is a 1938 to whatever the highest date is in here, Jefferson nickel album. I want to talk a little bit about why this is actually one of the bigger bargains out there. However, there's a little bit of a market kind of caveat to all this. Some of the coins are getting pretty pricey, just for raw examples. So we're going to talk a little bit about market as well. I have just about one full page of it done. Actually, the most difficult page is just about complete, with the exception of a few slots. And I wanted to, share in of what I'm getting here, how much you guys can expect to pay per coin, and then decide if you wanted to jump into what is normally a rather inexpensive set, but a very fulfilling one is that. All right, stay tuned, guys. Okay, here we go. 8113 Jefferson Nickel album by Dansko. Quick little, kind of note about these albums. They're really kind of tough to find these days, especially affordable. Now, I ended up picking this one up at a local coin shop, and it's got a few nicks in here. It's not the best looking example. It's got a little, couple areas of paint drips on there as well. Very small, mostly probably dust, but the album itself is not without some issues. Certainly some wear and tear on there for sure. Whoever had this before probably did not take good care of it the same way that I would have, but people treat their things in their own way. So here we go. These albums are selling used for between like 20 and 40 bucks, depending on the type of album you get. Nickels are going to be toward the low end. Sure, you could certainly substitute in a different brand like Whitman, buy a brand new one, and stay around $25. You can even order them on like Barnes and Noble, and if you have a membership there, they'll save you 10% as well. Just an idea, or you could just simply scour onto Amazon and see if you could pick up any cheap deals. So here we go. So the first page that we're going to look at is going to be the 1938 all the way up to 1949. This is the part of the album that I decided to concentrate more on, primarily because these are tougher coins to achieve. And instead of, people that normally collect in albums, and you could say that for any other album other than, say, this one and maybe Roosevelt dimes, because there's really no big coins in there that's going to command hundreds of dollars. I might change your guys' mind on a few of these coins, obviously, because they're starting to get expensive, and there's not nearly as many of them out there in the open market as there was 2-3 years ago. So all of the high quality pieces that I long to seek out to put in here are kind of drying up for whatever reason. But any other album, like let's say a Barber album or a piece, I mean, there's some like key date stoppers that's going to set you back a lot of money. With the nickel and the Roosevelt dime, or Jefferson nickel and Roosevelt dime albums, you really don't have to worry too much about that. Plus, there's really no wrong way to collect into these. You could do a full BU set like I did here, end up spending, a couple $100s to assemble all the coins. And you could kind of cherry pick the look that you want. You could pick up tone coins. You could pick up a few coins that have like full steps on them, whatever your flavor is. But what I elected to do here is just do a straight up BU set of Jeffersons from 38 all the way to whatever the last date is. There's a full page of blank here, so I could continue on the date for as long as I could get it. It stops at 2002. And it also has the proof issues in here. So interestingly enough, the final page has 2002p, but the next page does not have anything at all. These are all blank. So where's the Denver Mint? Well, that's kind of an oversight. They might have had a different page with a Denver and then more dates after that. Again, based off of the final date in this album. This is probably an album that was new back in 2001, maybe 2002. Normally, when they release an album of that year, they'll also add in the next year on there as well. And these also have the proof issues. I actually had a few of these that I just inserted in there. They had no specific look to them or anything. But, this will be the last page that I'm going to work on. I wanted to start with the more tougher dates, which, like I had mentioned before, on any other album, you can't do that because there are some coins that are just way too expensive. But in this album, you could start from the beginning, work your way down, and then go page by page. Even the 1950D right here, which I actually have filled as a very nice example, is quite affordable in mint state condition than you would realize. Actually, it came out cheaper than the 1942 Type 1, which is a nickel composition coin. I can't find a 42D for under $40 to save my life, but a 50D in mint state condition, I could find all day long for $15, $20, even though it's considered the key date of the series. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and what I'm going to do to kind of make it a little bit more natural is I'm going to take these sleeves out of here, and I'm going to detach my smartphone off of the tripod and actually take a closer look at these. So you might experience a little bit of a shake, and I do apologize about that. So the cool thing about Dansko albums is they have a little informational page, probably talks about Felix Schlag and how he kind of contributed to the actual, which is really cool. They actually did a design competition where a lot of people were submitting designed plasters and drawings and all sorts of really cool things that the Mint still owns a few of those original plasters. So pretty cool. Nice little thing here at the very back of the book. You have a mintage chart, all right, and then an address in LA. All right, so here's the coins I did pick up, and these are all mint state condition coins. Let me go ahead and kind of change my lighting direction here so it's not as... oh, that's much better. All right, so let me grab a pen here to make actually pointing out the coins easier without me really touching them. So we have the 1938. This coin in this condition, very easy to get. And as we go on through the coins, you'll kind of figure out which ones are like the most beautiful, very lustrous, great strike. And then you're going to actually see that degrade as we continue on down the line of these coins. Really early on, the U.S. Mint really did a good job with the overall grade, or not grade, but rather the strike and the luster factor on all the coins. And that's through the Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco minted examples right there. Each of the coins I had no issues obtaining. I actually ordered a 3-pack, which means I went on eBay. I just found a BU set of PDNS for $1938 and ended up paying, I think it was like $22 for the 3 coins. So again, affordability factor for the very first date of this series. The Denvers and San Franciscos, of course, are a little bit tougher dates of the entire series. So scoring these 3 for around that price tag was a huge win. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on over to the 39s. So we have a P-Mint. Make sure you flip these over. Look for the doubled Monticello. That's always a big double to die reverse, and it's also the FS801. We have the 39D, which is considered, I guess, 1B as far as most desirable key in the series. And then, of course, the 39S. I did not buy a 3-pack of this. I ended up buying the 39S separately, as it did have a little bit of kind of like toning on there. I opted to do that to give this album a little bit more personality rather than just doing kind of like the freshly minted blast white examples. But the 39, easy to obtain. You can pick one up for about $5-6. The 39D, of course, is one of your top keys. I think I ended up paying like $20 for this single coin. And the 39S, believe it or not, was actually a tougher date than you would realize. I think I got this one for about $17. Not, there might have been a little bit of a premium because of the toning, but I'm just going to say that the toning really didn't play too much of a factor in the value of the coins because everybody else selling this particular date and mint, we're selling it for right around the same amount of money. All right, now we're on to 1940, probably the easiest and least expensive trio that I've picked up. The PDNS I bought as a 3-pack on eBay. I think I paid like $17 for the 3 coins. Now, one thing you'll notice comparing the 38 to the 40, you're beginning to see some really, really not so fantastic luster. That was like kind of like the beginning of the end of the actual quality of the coins. Right here, you could tell even on the San Francisco Mint, you see a lot of planchet nicks and stuff all over the coin there. So the overall quality of the coins wasn't nearly as good as you would find in 38. However, the strike was still pretty good during these 3 dates as well. So this is going to be one of the more affordable trios of the Jefferson Nickel series that you'll encounter. Do not overpay for 1940s. All right, so this is where it gets pretty difficult. And I tried seeking out a 3-pack of this. And there were, I believe, 1 or 2 listings on eBay about a week or 2 ago because it took me about 30 days to assemble what you see here. I just did not like the appearance of the Denver and San Francisco minted coins. As a matter of fact, the 41 you see here, I end up picking up as a random piece along with the 42p and a couple other dates as well. Probably one of these here. So it wasn't like a traditional 3-pack where you get a PDNS of the single date. I picked up this coin as a BU coin as part of a total lot of 4 coins. So I think I paid like $24 for it. So this is where things begin to get a little bit challenging. The 41D and the 41S, surprisingly, are very expensive. These are $30, $40 coins based off of the previous sold prices. Someone actually has a large S41S that I have in my watch list that I may or may not pick up. I'm not necessarily picking up like variety types. I just want a specific look to the coin with lots of luster, and in 41 you can get that, pretty similar to the 40s. But for whatever reason, these 2 coins are very expensive and there's not too many of them on the open market. And the same goes for the Type 1s, 42s here. The Type 1s, they're called Type 1s because they are the nickel composition. Okay, in 42, you had the nickel composition P's and D's, and then you also had the Philadelphia and San Francisco war nickels in there as well. All right, so we also got these 2 in here. This date, really, really difficult to obtain in mint state condition. You're going to end up paying a lot of money for this one. Primarily because this is actually a very scarce coin in mint state condition. And full steps examples, which everyone's trying to cherry pick of 42D Type 1, is actually a prohibitively expensive coin and is highly coveted among Jefferson Nickel Registry set collections. I've seen certain examples sell for as high as $10,000 and up of a full steps 42D. And then there's also the matter of the variety 42D over horizontal D, which exists here as well. There's just a lot to look for in this date, and it's kept prices really, really high on this. There were a few examples. They weren't particularly to my liking based off of overall eye appeal, and they were asking like 50, 60 bucks for those coins. I think one ended up selling an auction that I missed out on. It sold for like 35 or something, but I'm just gonna wait on this one, see if maybe a local coin shop or the next coin show in the area, I could find one there. We'll see. Again, you can be as fast or quick of assembling any of these coins as you want, really depending on how much money you have. So keep that in mind. All of the silver war nickels are going to be very well struck. They're going to be absolutely beautiful and lustrous. All these coins have some sort of like personality to them. Kind of like a few of them have like really nice steel kind of blue toning to them, like the 44, this 42. It's ever so subtle, but it kind of differentiates one coin to the other. This 42S has a little bit of that blue toning as well. I ended up picking the entire set up of BU War Nickels for $119. And it was actually in a capital holder. You could probably go on eBay and look at previous listings and see the one that I did buy a couple weeks back. All right, so these are quite easy to obtain. After the War Nickel series, these particular dates are all pretty easy to get. You could get them in 3-packs and generally spend anywhere from about 10 to 15 bucks for the 3-pack of each of these dates. So 46s, 47s here, 48s. I think there were maybe a 48 and then one other date that I ended up picking in a 4-pack with the 41 and the 42. As a set, and I ended up just cherry picking the others on eBay as separate coins. Very easy dates, 48, 49. 49, believe it or not, is quite expensive. Don't know why, but yeah, I ended up paying a few bucks for those particular coins. The 49S that you see here, it has some pretty decent looking blue toning on there. 49D is a decent looking coin as well. And that's kind of like where I stopped at. Like right there, I picked up a few onesie twosies. You got to get the 50D because they are widely available in mint state condition. Any time that you could pick up one of these for around 20 bucks or less raw, it's a pretty good day. And you could probably end up finding one cheaper than that as well. So all of these dates are very obtainable if you just wanted a BU example or a mint state example. Without really going too ham on the actual strike designation. You'll see that I haven't quite reached this area yet. And I've sprinkled in like 59D, 60D, 63. And these are all coins that I already had in inventory that I cracked out of 2x2s because I had paid like 50 cents or $1 for them and had inserted them in there. So as you can tell, we are in the mid 50s and quality is not too good. I mean, luster-wise, it's non-existent. You get into like 63, that's particularly not too attractive. 58D is another one, 58. I mean, just look at the luster difference. See the 50D and compare it to 58. Yeah, no bueno. But that's that one. We're going to kind of quickly go through the later dates as well. We got some miscellaneous 60s in here. Again, no real kind of urgency to pick up these coins. Luster begins to pick up somewhere in the 60s, later 60s, early 70s. There's our first proof, 72S, nothing too fancy. I wouldn't even say it qualifies for a deep cameo. I mean, maybe it might. I mean, from this vantage point it does, but yeah, I mean, we're pretty much done after here. Just a few, again, kind of like onesie twosies. There's another 85S, a few more here, 79S, variety 1, and there's a variety 2. That's the mint mark type on each of them. I think that's the more scarcer out of the two. So that's kind of ironic that I had that one, 89D. These coins are just decent in the 80s. And then, a few more proofs. And then a 96P, which is not the best looking example, but I had that one in a 2x2 and I ended up just putting that in there. I'm probably going to change this one out because it has a fingerprint on there. Don't know how that ended up on that 95S proof. A couple more proofs here. Another one there. And then finally, I have what I call the overflow page. It has no dates, but these are all doubles. So I got a 38. 69D, it looks like, 46, 45, that's a war nickel, and another war nickel, 43. So, as far as mints go, yeah, that looks like the 38 is an S, so that's an extra S, that's the extra S, and then P and P for the war nickels. So that kind of wraps up how the album's looking. I intend on getting this completed within about the next, I would say, 30 to 60 days. Again, I could just blow this away and finish it out. But I also wanted to take my time and actually cherry pick rather nice coins. Now, a quick little observation, we don't have really grateful steps on a lot of them. This one looks nice, but was that a main kind of like character part of these coins I was aiming for? Not at all. Do not participate in that kind of brain damage because you're going to end up spending way too much time trying to put these coins together if you're just looking for full steps. I mean, you could do that, but you might as well go for like graded stuff because a lot of the premium examples have all been cherry picked over the last like 20 years of these coins. So that is, ladies and gentlemen, the Dansko Jefferson Nickel 8113 album. That's where I'm at progression wise. I think this looks really quite nice. These three coins right here have some pretty nice toning to them, along with the 39S. So yeah, pretty good. Again, you guys can take part into putting a set like this. You could just do circulation coins, stuff that you find in bankrolls. You know, people do that. Like Rob Finds Treasure does it every single day on his roll hunt videos, and he does his roll hunt and fill videos, which are very popular today. And this one right here is just kind of a casual kind of searching online, seeing what I could find type of album. So that's going to go ahead and wrap it up for this one. Surprisingly, a lot of the coins have jumped up in price, especially some of the earlier ones that you see here before you get to the War Nickels, the 42D. All of a sudden has exploded in the marketplace. It's no longer a $5 to $10 coin like it used to be back in 2019. So bad on me for not picking one of those up then. But then again, I'm just now starting this album since like the beginning of October. So that's it. That's what I want to talk about. Thank you guys for tuning in. Sorry about the shaky camera work. And yeah, keep on hunting, guys. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit that bell for instant notifications. And also come see me on TikTok and hit the follow button while you're there. All right, that's it. Have a good one. Take care.